And hello, hello. I am live once again today. Yes, hello everyone, and happy Tuesday. Can you believe 1 week until the big day? Again, where does the time go? Ooh, I don't know. Oh, let me double check. As always, oh, there I am. How cute. Yes. Wonderful. Oh, geez. Let me turn that down. So, yes, hello, everyone. Again, I always just have to double check. I'm a one-man band here, so just had to double check. Yes, I am live at the Genome Sewing Machines Facebook page, live to Genome Canada Facebook page. Oh, and my sister Deb is here already. Hello, hello. Yes, and Elaine is here. Hello. We're streaming live to the Genome America YouTube channel and streaming live to Genome Canada's YouTube channel, the Genome HQ YouTube. So yes, every chance we can share the Genome love is wonderful. So hello, everyone. Thank you. Oh, Mary Ella is here. Hello, hello. It is great to see you all. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I am Michael Smith, National Education Manager of Genome Canada. And yes, I'm very thrilled to be back with you to share more of the Genome love. Oh my gosh, all the way in Germany. Lovely. Hello. This is what I love when technology works right. It's great. We can share the Genome love all around the world. So I am here live in my palatial estate in Collingwood, Ontario, Canada. It's about 2 hours north of Toronto. But again, I'm here for the Genome Sewing Machines, Genome America Facebook page. We always work well together. And again, any opportunity to share the Genome love. I'm back to share more quick and easy gifts, last minute gifts you can do for Christmas or really kind of at any time of year. You just switch up the fabric. So we'll get right to it. So, oh my gosh, from Scotland, and oh, this is wonderful. Oh, Sandra Gilmer's here. Hello, hello. Great to see you all. Again, the time will just go by so fast. And as always, I have lots to share with you all. Oh, I just need to flip my camera to the back so everybody can see. Oh, yes, actually, before I do that, let me just say, yes, I am, again, with quick and easy projects. Yes, I am Hermie. I almost forgot to say, yes, I am Hermie. Remember the little elf from the Rudolph Christmas special? I always identified with him, you know, the boy that never fit in, the elf that never fit in. But yes, you can go to our Genome Life blog, and I've blogged about making this, again, fast, easy gifts. This is a purchase little Santa's hat, but I customized it. You see one of our little red Genome bobbins, and again, Hermie across the bib. Now, what I did, I talked about last week, if you were here with me for quick and easy last minute gifts, stabilizer for a lot of our decorative stitches and embroidery. So yes, we have a paper-backed sticky stabilizer here in the embroidery hoop. You score it with a stiletto, a seam ripper, even a needle, score it. You peel the paper away to reveal the sticky, and then this is what I'm using to embroider. Again, the cuff of this hat, purchased hat, you stick it down on the sticky stabilizer here, and then you top it with a layer of the water soluble stabilizer. Again, last week you can review, go back to the Genome Sewing Machines Facebook feed or Genome Canada Facebook feed, or again, go on to Genome America YouTube, Genome Canada YouTube to review last week's presentation. I talked all about stabilizer. So again, sticky stabilizer to hold the project in place and then top it with water soluble stabilizer. That way the embroidery doesn't sink into that furry fabric. So then that way you then peel this off, you spritz it with water, immerse it in water, and then there you have Hermie or whatever the name is. And again, your purchased little Santa's hat. So that's a very quick, easy gift you could do. Could be at any kind of hats to personalize. So yes, let me flip around again. So we will see lots here on my machine, lots to do. There we go. Okay, now once again, I'm sewing on the fabulous CM17 here today. But again, all of these projects that I am doing, you can really use any machine. For example, quick and easy gifts. Oh, if you've got a chunk of this is faux fur that I had left over, I made this quick, easy infinity scarf. So if you've got a chunk of fabric, it only takes about a half meter, half a yard of fabric, whatever the width is. It could be 45-inch wide. Actually, the longer the better, but it could be 45-inch wide. This is some hand-woven fabric I had. Very beautiful, but again, it was not very wide. So therefore, the infinity scarf, you would just wear it like this. There's a little twist in the fabric. Super simple, easy to make. If you have longer, wider fabric, 50 inches, 60 inches, this beautiful, like shantung silk. It looks almost like linen with the little slubs. Just a long, skinny strip left over. Well, you just, again, do this little twist, and there's your infinity scarf. Super simple. Or how about this? Because I save everything. I know a lot of us do, especially those of us who are quilters. Scraps. I had a whole bunch of scraps. I made a dress out of this, and I had a whole bunch of scraps left over. So where I joined the fabric, I just couched some ribbon with a little bit of sequins there using the Janome beading feet, which I will demo in a little bit. Again, that hides the joint of that infinity scarf. Now, the longer your fabric, again, the more you can like twist up the scarf like that and make it a little bunchier. So the longer your fabric. Now, again, you can go on Janome Life blog and you'll find a ton of blogs all about infinity scarves and just even Google. So what it is, in this case, this check that I have is 60 inches wide fabric. Was great. We sew a long seam. So again, it's about half a yard wide. There's my seam. Half a yard wide. So about 18 inches wide by whatever the width of the fabric. It could be 45, or in this case, it was 60 inches. So you sew a long, long seam. Now, I just used a 5/8 of an inch seam, as most of our garment sewing patterns are. So when we're sewing these long seams, again, do you have a cloth guide for your machine? Can definitely help. We have many of our machines have these patented marks, these marks on our patented needle plate. Maybe you have a cloth guide that comes with your machine, or this little metal cloth guide is available in a separate blister pack. It's got a little screw here. There is actually usually 2 screws with it. Depending, do you have a threaded screw hole in your needle plate, or do you have one in the bed of your machine? You'll use a longer screw if you have the screw hole in the bed of your machine. Most will have the screw hole in the needle plate. So in this case, I'm going to line this up, wherever I need it to be at my 5/8 inch mark. And I just screw that on. And then that way, when I'm doing my seaming, boom, like how perfect is that? I get this nice long fence for nice straight lines. So we could use this one, comes with some machines, or again is available separately, that metal one. Or yes, for my fabulous M17 and all the Continental machines, yes, we've got this giant cloth guide. So this, if you have a Continental machine, then you can get this as a separate accessory. And again, we've got this wonderful ruled fence here that we would just go along and go to 5/8 of an inch. I lock it into place, run my fabric up here. I see up here on my needle plate that, yes, indeed, that's at 5/8 of an inch. And boom, I have this nice long fence. So this is a great thing to use, again, for nice straight long seams. If the cloth guide did not come with your machine, again, you can double check with your Janome dealer, and that alone, the cloth guide would make an excellent Christmas gift. But yes, if it has comes with your machine, that's fabulous. So when I'm doing this long straight seam, and again, there's my long straight seam. So the thing about this infinity scarf, after we do the long straight seam, we're going to... Oh, this is the hard thing when I'm running out of space. We're going to fold these, short edges together, but we want to add this little twist to it to look like it's, again, this infinity. It's just continuous. So here's my seam line right here, and I don't want to match my seam line. Instead, this is the center of my fabric there. I want to do it opposing directions. So there, so I'm matching, all I did was just fold my fabric there. There's my seam, and I just made a little crease mark over here. So then I'm adding, matching that crease mark up to the seam line on this fabric there. And then again, I'm just going to fold this all around, and we can pin it, or we can clip it together so we can sew this shorter edge. Whoops, sorry for hitting the camera again. Oh, sorry, I'm going to go dry fast and furious because, as usual, the time goes by really fast. So yes, let me just get this under here. And again, we could use that cloth guide if we would like, so we get nice straight seams. I'm just going to use, again, the marks on my patented needle plate, even the marks on the bobbin cover here. And then when I do this, again, just with a straight stitch is fine. And then away we go. So it's so simple. We just keep matching these edges together. Now, for those who say, oh, but this would be so much easier if I had a free arm machine. Well, sure, it could be. But, I started sewing years and years ago and studied fashion design in college, and we used industrial machines. They do not have free arms in industrial machines. They're like dedicated machines. So I just got used to, I learned to sew. This is called sewing in the round. And I just learned to sewing in the round. So not having a free arm was never really an issue. That again, the focus is, all I need is just flat fabric in front of my needle. I don't have to worry about making the whole giant scarf flat. I just have to make it flat in front of my needle. Now, as usual, I could go on and sew all day because I love to sew and finish. But yes, you're just making a tube, and at some point you will need to leave an opening then you're going to flip this right side out. And let me get rid of my pins. So then this is going to be all, again, beautifully finished. And again, you could try to, if these will match up, if these, checks will match up, you could spend more time making them all match beautifully. These prints are not always, printed or woven on the straight of a grain. But again, we could try to match it a little better. But anyway, we're just going to make it there as a tube, and that's it. Like, so simple. And then again, we've got the little fold. So an infinity scarf, again, is hard to show without a model. I won't wear it because of my microphone. But again, with a nice long length, you see, like the scarf could be all nice and cozy there as you loop it around. So super simple, fast, easy to make. So just go on Janome Life blog and type in infinity scarf, and you'll find lots there. So another project, I mentioned last week how I love going to the discount store to find a lot of resources. So this, Mary Poppins and Julie Andrews in general is one of my favorite actresses, and Mary Poppins, one of my favorite movies. We all remember her big carpet bag. Well, there I was going through the discount store, and I thought, oh, I really like this little rug. Just a little occasional rug, but I don't really have any use in my house for it. And then all of a sudden I remembered, hey, that kind of looked like Mary Poppins carpet bag. Well, you can take these little rugs that you get at the discount store for not very much money, and you turn them into, yes, a tote bag. This could be for the grocery store. This could be for shopping. Oh, this would make a great beach bag for the summer. Or again, maybe you or a relative, a friend is going south or on a beautiful vacation over the winter. How about you gift them this bag they could take to the beach or to go shopping? And again, all it is that rug. Now, in this case, I folded the edge over so I could make like a cuff, and I used the tassels that are already made with my Janome machine, again, any machine that can make a buttonhole. There we go. Use the buttonhole attachment for my strap to go through as I sewed my strap here, and again made my buttonhole so it could go through to create the handle. This is just a 1-inch webbing I got, again, very inexpensively at the fabric store, at the craft store. So boom, isn't that wonderful? And then even to sew it together, oh, I could use a straight stitch. In this case, can you see I used a multi-step zigzag stitch just along the edge of the fabric. So I just folded it over and then did that zigzag stitch and boom, finished it off. There you go. So simple. Oh, sorry. I knew I would cough because, oh, it's getting so dry with the heat on. So to do this, again, to do these bags, super simple, easy to do, whatever kind of handles you'd like. But again, the presser foot will make all the difference in the world. So when I go to do my straps here, I lay it out. Again, just lay it out on my fabric. There is where I have butted the straps together. So I just lay the strap all around. Oh, I'm so sorry. Lay the straps all around, and then there is where it overlaps. I just tuck in that raw edge. I have it all pinned in place. Whatever kind of drop you would like. I generally use about an 8 to a 10-inch drop of my handles. Depends if you want to put it over your shoulder or not. So I could use, you know, any kind of foot. There's many feet that we have with various guides, but what I really love for this step, because I want this top stitching to be very even, what I love using, I'll get rid of my regular foot here, is this bi-level foot. Now it is for 9mm and now 7mm machines. And you may be able to see, do you see how that right side of the foot is a little lower than the left side? So this is great to do this top stitching. Again, it's the bi-level foot. It's a snap-on foot. And it's great to keep this top stitching totally accurate. Oh, I have so much here on my machine. It's hard to maneuver it all. So I'm just going to go back to where I stopped. Now I need to move my needle. I'm going to run this strap right along that groove of the foot where the right side is lower. So I'm going to run that side of the strap right along that groove. And then I'm going to move my needle position over. Now here in the CM17 and some of our machines, we can move it with the dial, or we would move little by little by little. I'm going to move it over to 7.0 on my machine, since I have a 9mm machine. And I just want to have that stitching, oh, it's about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of that strap. I have a little note here. Whenever you have to leave a project, leave yourself a little note with what stitch you used in your settings, and that way you won't forget. So not only did I move my needle over to the right so I can get a little closer to the edge of that strap, I'm going to lengthen my stitch to 3.0 because I'm going through this thicker fabric here of this rug. But look how simple that is, and remove our pins. And again, because of this offset foot the right side of the bi-level foot is a little lower than the left. So this produces this perfect guide for that top stitching. Like, so wonderful. It is so fun to do. Boom. Look at that. How beautiful that is. How beautiful and accurate that is. And then again, once I have done all of that stitching of the straps, as it's nice and flat, then I'm just going to butt these two, fold it in half. And again, I could use a straight stitch. I could do a zigzag stitch. I'm going to do the multi-step zigzag that has got many different stitches in it. Very quickly, if you can see that it's a zigzag stitch, but it does several little stitches in between as it's going back and forth. So it's a little bit stronger. Oh, I don't know if you'll be able to see in blue there. This is a little afterthought. The multi-step zigzag. Again, I've got a couple of little stitches in between that zigzag. So yes, that it can really work out very, very well. So these little bags, again, very inexpensive from the discount store, really fun to use. Again, great beach bag. Or how about this? This is actually a rubbery bath mat. You see the grooves in there? You would normally put this in your bottom of your tub so you don't slip. What a great, I thought, great beach bag. That, because again, with the grooves, all the sand, all the water can go through if you're going to the beach or the pool, you know, at the resort or even your own pool. And you've got, you know, the kids' toys and all of that. They can throw in the toys in here, hose it all off. The water and the sand will just go through. Again, more of that nylon webbing. So great time to use that bi-level foot to put on the straps. But in this case, when it came time to fold my bag together, and I just did a long straight stitch. Again, yes, a bag for groceries. Yes, totally. Multi-purpose. So when I did this seam, again, that is quite thick. So an alternative to use when you have these thicker layers, again, go on Janome Life blog, and I did a blog on this bag, and I talked about heavy-duty sewing, and of course, we're going to use our even feed foot, our dual feed foot, or this is my AccuFeed flex foot that I would use here with my CM17. Those upper feeding teeth will really help feed these layers together. So we could use this foot to help feed those layers, or what we can also use is the HD roller foot. It is for 9mm and high shank 7mm. What type of thread do I use? In this case, for those rugs, I just used regular polyester all-purpose sewing thread. But if we're going to do thicker layers and more heavy-duty tote bags, we could use, this is sometimes called jeans thread as it's marketed. It's a 30 or 28 weight thread, so it's a little thicker thread. So you could use this for your tote bags to be a little sturdier than just regular polyester all-purpose thread. You can ultimately use any thread that you want, but a thicker thread is generally good for the tote bags. So this HD roller foot, again, full instructions in the blister pack. It is great to use when, as usual, the time is flying by. It is great to use when we want to do those thicker layers. So we remove the foot, and here is the HD roller foot. And you see there is the big, it's a big wheel, essentially. There is where it attaches to the machine. And again, full instructions in the blister pack. I have to go really fast and furious because I've got lots to show still. I keep my Janome 11,000. Oh, yes. Now the 11,000... Ooh, was that a high shank 7mm? I would have to go back and look. If so, high shank 7mm can use this HD roller foot. Or again, maybe you'll use your AccuFeed Flex, your dual feed foot to help feed your thicker layers, but this HD roller foot for these thick layers. Or again, if we want to sew piping, we're doing some home deck projects, for example, and we've got really thick cording and piping that won't fit through our Janome piping feet. Yes, we could use a zipper foot, but with this HD roller foot, oh, it works perfectly. And again, let's lengthen that stitch because I'm going through these thicker layers. It works perfectly if I align my needle up to the edge of this cording, and this wheel is going to move my layers. Look at that. It moves so perfectly, and my needle is right up against this cording. So first I would do this to attach the cording or the piping to whatever my project, and then I would go back and put the second layer on top to, you know, put that in the seam. But again, how perfect would that be? And again, that's stitching right up against through. This is like about 1/8 of an inch thick felt. Here are 2 layers sewn together and then top stitched. Now this is when as well I used that thicker 28 or 30 weight thread. Don't use your automatic needle threader with a thread this thick. Instead, thread it by hand. For a guide here, sometimes I use green painter's tape, and I'll do a row of stitching here for that perfectly parallel top stitching through. Again, I've got 2 layers of this 1/8 of an inch thick felt, really thick, but that roller foot made all the difference in the world. So we could use our, again, the presser foot makes all the difference. So a thicker fabric like this, or thicker substrate like this bath mat would make a great, again, beach bag. Oh, and there's a little pivot pin as well for this HD roller foot. Get it out of the way. So simple. So there it is. It works great. And again, line it up with your feed dogs and it feeds perfectly. So that's an alternative. Now, when I go through those really thick layers of that felt and even of that spongy bag here of that bath mat, again, I've got a thicker needle, like a size 14 leather needle, and I keep it in this little, this is a manual needle threader here with that little wire to help thread our needle. Then I can keep it in here, switch out my needle to this size 14. It holds the needle in place to this size 14 leather needle, do my stitching, take out my needle again. I can leave it here because it's still good. I've only used it for a little bit. And then that way I know what needle is left in. So a thicker needle, when you're going through those thicker layers, make sure you jump on janome.ca for the Janome Needle Guide. There, it's in the Accessories tab. And here, the Janome Needle Guide, all of our different needles, when you would use them, why, all of that. That's on janome.ca, specifically in the Accessories tab. So your appropriate needle through all these thicker layers will definitely help. Now, something else that is very fun to do very quickly, our fabulous Janome circular sewing attachment. And there's a couple of different ways. They all attach in the bobbin area, but it all depends on what model you have on which one you're going to use. So you double check with your fabulous Janome dealer, because again, there's a square and there's a rectangular one, or then the one that I have for my CM17 and all 9mm machines is for the Easy Set model, and full instructions in the blister pack. And we've written a ton of blogs on Janome Life. So we can remove the bobbin cover. It just slides into place. Whoops, get it the right way around. Slides into place. Attach our little screw here. Whoops. Nope. Okay. Just attach the little screw. Oops. In the of course, when I'm rushing, attach it in the needle plate. There we go. And the cool thing is I could use any foot I want. Typically, we would use with decorative stitches, for example, we'd use that satin stitch foot, or what I'm going to do for the sake of time, I won't, I guess, fully demo this, but I'm going to use this AccuFeed Flex foot to quilt. Yes, did we imagine we could use our circular sewing attachment? Here you sew up your scraps. I'm going to do this in a couple of weeks. I'll be back here December 31st, actually, to show you how you use up your scraps to create some projects for next year. So this little placemat, a bunch of scraps put together, very simple, easy to do. All this quilting was done through all layers with that circular sewing attachment. Now, what's very fun, you do your little practice samples, any decorative stitch you want, you do your little samples, you're sewing in the round. How about this? A purchased, very simple, easy to make gift, a purchased placemat, and you use your decorative stitches to make this beautiful design, all with the decorative stitches built into your machine. Or, again, I made this big, long table runner. And then, yes, I quilted it just with straight lines, but here I did some circular attachment, quilting through all layers. So very fun. So very quickly, again, I can expose the little pin there. I can move this guide wherever I want. Again, this will be a very quick little demo because the time goes by so fast. So I lock this into place. And then in this case, since I'm quilting, I would do, again, a longer stitch. I like to do a 3.5 or a 3.0, 3.5. You do your little test sample just with a straight stitch. So here with my quilting, I have my batting and my backing and my quilt top. Now, sometimes with these thicker layers, you just hold your little pin down just to make sure it doesn't, accidentally pop off. But overall, even through these layers, now again, ideally I would switch to my AccuFeed Flex foot because then I am getting some bunching here, but just to be really quick, again, I would use my even feed foot, AccuFeed Flex foot, because we're just going in a straight line. But it's curved, but we're going in a straight line. So even through these thicker layers, we can use our circular sewing attachment. And again, I'm going to do a more thorough demo in a couple of weeks. But again, you can go on our Janome Life blog, find a million blogs about the circular sewing attachment, or go back here specifically to Janome Sewing Machine's Facebook feed. Our fabulous educator, Celine, normally does the Tuesdays lives, and she has done a lot on circular sewing attachment. So you can go back and use the search box and just find the previous presentations. Now, very quickly, again, the beading attachment, as I mentioned, the beading foot, there's a wide groove and there's a narrow groove, and they're for 5mm, 7mm, and 9mm. So make sure you get the correct one for your machine. Now, you will see there's grooves in the bottom of the feet. So you would get these feet first. I always recommend get the feet first, and then you take them to the craft store to make sure will your cording or your string of beads, I love using it for yarn couching, will it fit through the groove? So you get the feet first from your Janome dealer, and then you go to the craft store to make sure your yarn will go through. So what I love doing for quick and easy projects, with this set of placemats, for example, just a bunch of pieced scraps together, rows of your circular attachment, doing your quilting, and then here the edge, instead of binding, we educators do a lot of this to finish the edge. Look at how cool that is. And all we did was just cut off the edge of the fabric. So again, my backing and my batting and my quilt top are all cut, all cut at the same all cut at the same edge. And then there's our yarn. Again, I just get it from the discount store. It is so fabulous to use and so fun and a quick, easy way to finish off the edge of fabric, in this case for a placemat or for anything. So all we're going to do is a zigzag stitch. And again, I can make this a little wider if I need to. So that's all we do, is just butt this on, and we're going to go off the edge of the fabric to couch this. And we're just going to line up the yarn right along the edge. It works so fast, so easy, very fun. Maybe you're going to make a quilt for the kids or something, the grandkids. So how fun is that? There we go. Finishes it off. Look at that. Beautiful. So matching thread, you know, would be beautiful. In this case, the multicolor from the front, you'd never even see it. So super simple, easy to do. So there in a nutshell is once again a whole fast, furious demo of a couple of different presser feet that you either may have or can get from your fabulous Janome dealer, or you might even put on your Christmas list for gifts that you would like to get. So that would be very cool. Oh, there we go. I'm just trying to flip my camera around. So there we are. Okay, fabulous. Thank you. So thank you everyone so much for joining me today. It's always wonderful to share the Janome love with you all. And yes, look forward to more sewing tips and tricks for the holidays. I'll be back next week and even the 31st, since there's so many Tuesdays in December. All little quick and easy things that we can do for the holidays and get our sewing done. And of course, Janome always makes it easier with specialty presser feet and attachments that you could do it all so fast and easy with very professional results. So thank you everyone so much for joining me today, and have a fabulous day. Bye.